Welcome to this 40-minute practice of standing yoga. Coming to stand on a yoga mat or carpet of some sort, standing in mountain pose. When we stand in mountain pose, we're invited to embrace the attitude of standing like a mountain. Standing up straight and tall with dignity, strength and grace. And if you choose to, you might close your eyes. Allow your arms to just rest at your sides. And imagine, if you will, there's a string through the crown of your head and it's just gently lifting you, as if attached to a helium balloon. Not a strong pull that leaves you feeling rigid and stiff, but rather a sensation of being lengthened through your back and strong through your legs. Take your attention down into your feet. And notice how the contact between your feet and what you are standing on feels. And you might choose to just shift your weight gently forward and back, not actually lifting the toes or heels, but rather just redistributing the weight back and forth. And you could also try shifting from side to side. Again, not lifting a foot off the floor, but rather just shifting how much weight you put into one foot and then into the other. Being curious about how the weight distributes from the body into the surfaces of the feet. You might even take this movement into a kind of a circling, where if you had a pencil on the attached to the crown of your head, you might be able to draw small circles on the ceiling in one direction and then the other. Remembering the wise practice, and if anything isn't feeling like it's right for you today, please adjust accordingly. If you feel at all dizzy, you may need to open your eyes or stand near a wall or a chair to assist with a little more balance. Let your knees be soft and directly over your ankles, your hips over your knees, the torso rising up, shoulders over hips, and head resting on the top of the neck. Notice if you tend to stick your chin out, which many of us do if you spend a lot of time on the computer. You may just gently tuck the chin and sort of elongate the back of the neck, and then soften down through the shoulders. So we stand straight and tall, but not rigid. And then as you take your next breath, raise your arms up overhead, palms facing each other, and take a stretch. Explore lengthening through the upper part of the body while simultaneously rooting your feet to the ground. Slowly bring the arms down. exploring this movement 2 more times. You may choose to alternate the breath or modify in some other way. Just taking a lovely stretch, arms up overhead. You could clasp your fingers and turn your palms to the ceiling, stretching the underside of the hands, the palms and the fingers. Settle the shoulder blades down the back, making a little space between the ears and the shoulders. A little more space. And at some point when you're ready, releasing the hands and slowly taking them down. Keep the fingers facing up. The palms facing out. And secure the movement as you control the gliding of the arms down until they rest at your side. And try this movement at your own pace a couple of more times. And when you're ready, guiding the arms back down to your sides. And with your next breath, lengthening up the left hand towards the ceiling and reaching, really lengthening through the whole left side of the body, as if you're trying to pick something off a high shelf. Lengthen and breathe and notice. How does my body respond to this position? How is my breath? And as you exhale, slowly taking that arm down, with the next breath, reaching up through the right side of the body, lengthening the right fingers, trying to reach something just out of your grasp. Can you notice, is there any difference from one side to the other? Or possibly how this movement may alter your breathing? Bringing that arm back down on the next breath. And then sweeping both arms up overhead on a deep inhale, clasping the thumbs. And as you exhale, lean over toward the left. Take a breath there. Notice the sensations, possible thoughts. And then inhale back up to a long straight stretch. And exhale, taking this side bend to the other side. Holding there for a breath or two, as you like. Resting in the awareness of the sensations of the body in this stretch. Then coming back to stretch straight up one more time. Releasing the hands and exhaling, allowing the arms to slowly descend. Returning to the pose pose of the mountain. Standing still in mountain pose, we'll now roll the shoulders forward and up toward the ears, and then continue to roll them around through the back and down, making a lot of space between the shoulders and the ears. Explore connecting it with the breath as you inhale. Roll the front of the shoulders toward one another and up toward the ears. And then continue making circles with the shoulders as you roll toward the back and down. You could speed that up if you like. Play with it. Be curious about it. You could change the direction of the movement. And when you're ready, allowing the shoulders to settle. Feeling of the shoulder blades nicely connected into the back. Back to mountain pose. And now we'll give a little stretch to the neck. As you take a breath in, exhaling, slowly bring your right ear towards your right shoulder without lifting the shoulder. So it's stretching the left side of the neck. Take a breath. Allow the stretch to deepen into the tissues. And then inhale, take the neck back up straight. And exhale, left ear toward left shoulder. Keeping the shoulders relaxed down, stretching the right side of the neck. Inhale, coming back to a neutral position with the neck. Now we'll take it to a neck, a diagonal neck stretch. Bringing your right ear towards your right shoulder. Keeping your right arm at your side, open the palm of your hand, facing it forward. Now drop and turn your head to look at the palm of your hand, stretching the neck diagonally. When you're ready, come back, take a breath, exhale left ear toward left shoulder, extending the left fingers open, and then looking down towards the palm of the hand so as to diagonally stretch the neck. And if it's so called for in this moment, you may return to the original position and just do a couple of gentle neck rolls. Taking the chin toward the chest, and then following the line of the collarbone to the left, so the left ear toward the left shoulder, slightly to the back, not overextending the neck. Coming to bring the right ear toward the right shoulder, and then dipping the chin as if following the line of the collarbone back to the original spot. If you like, taking one or two of these in the other direction. And as you're ready, returning to mountain pose. One more time. As you inhale, lengthening your fingertips up toward the ceiling with lots of extension through the arms, lots of energy. Inhale, exhale. One more breath in. And then slowly begin to descend the arms, fingertips facing toward the ceiling, palms facing out, lengthening through the arms, feeling nicely connected through the shoulders. The shoulder blades gliding down the back. Back to mountain pose. And taking your hands to your hips for a twist. Take a nice deep breath. Feel that your back is in a neutral position. And as you exhale, starting with your chin to look towards your left, allow the spine to twist to the left, keeping your hips facing forward, with the hands on the hips to keep them anchored there. Soften the shoulders down, take a breath and lengthen your spine again. And exhale, maybe a little more twist while keeping those hip bones facing forward. Inhale, back to the center. And exhale, beginning with the head, looking over the right shoulder, allow the rest of the back to follow along. On an inhale, stand taller. And on an out breath, perhaps a little more twist. On your next breath, coming back to mountain pose. And exploring this one more time. And you may choose to allow the hips to move along with the twist this time. And if you do, just being careful of the sensation in the knees. So allow the hips to go around, but not forcing any more into the knees. Taking that twist to both sides in your own time. Finding yourself back in a mountain pose, coming into a squat. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, just gently bend your knees, placing your hands just above your knees on your thighs. Keep the back straight, as if you were about to sit in a chair. You could have the feet hip-width apart or even together if you like. Whatever feels more stable for you. This challenging pose. On your next breath, coming back up to mountain pose. Standing tall, breathing in. Exhaling back into the squat. Hands back on the thighs. And if you choose to explore a movement of the arms, you could take both arms up past your face and kind of in line with your ears so that fingertips are a natural extension right out of the shoulders, from the shoulders. So it's a straight line up the back and out through the arms and hands. See if you can glide your shoulder blades down. Take a breath in this strong position. Exhale, maybe sitting a little deeper. And then inhale to stand. And exhale, lower your arms. Finding your way back to mountain pose. Coming into a forward bend, taking a breath with soft knees, and only if your back is well. As you exhale, nod your chin into your chest and then continue to wheel forward. curling yourself as if over a ball as you roll down, keeping the knees soft and only going as far as is right for you today. Maybe the fingertips come to the floor or to your shins. If the backs of the legs are tight, keep the knees very soft, bent. Lay your abdomen and chest into your thighs and explore a few breaths here. And again, as you're ready and in your own time, and using the strength of the abdominals to begin and follow the movement, and just start to uncurl, straightening out through the front of the hips, and then restacking the spine as you come back to mountain pose. Repeating this forward bend a couple of more times. And if you like, adding in the arms. As you inhale, you could sweep your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, the arms come down, simultaneously tucking the chin and rolling yourself forward. To come down, resting the abdomen and the chest in toward the thighs. Knees soft. When you're ready, and using the support of your abdomen, the muscles of the core to guide yourself back up. This protects the lower back. And one more at your own time and in your own pace. And when you find yourself back in a mountain pose, take one more long stretch, arms up overhead, paying attention to how the body is feeling after having some of this kind of movement. Standing tall in mountain, breathing and aware. Noticing the moments. Preparing for a balancing pose. You might start by taking your hands to your hips, standing on or off the mat, whatever feels more comfortable, more stable, and possibly closer to a wall or piece of furniture that would support you if you needed some extra assistance in a balance. And just beginning to lift the right foot up off the floor as you feel the connection of the left foot strongly on the ground. Bending the knee, and just keeping the hip at a right angle, the knee at a right angle. Seeing if you can keep your pelvis even, not dropping the hip or hiking up the hip, but rather both hips at an even level. If this all feels well and good, you could remove your hands from your hips and spread them out to the sides. And as you like, exploring movement or stillness. And as you're ready, taking the arms back down to the sides and the foot back down to the floor. Perhaps doing a little pedaling, sort of wiggling the hips back and forth to release any tension. then feeling the right foot is well stable and grounded on the floor. Begin to take your left foot up off the floor, bending the knee, bringing it up to be at a right angle at hip and knee. Exploring lifting the arms if you so choose. How does this body feel to be balanced on one foot? And then as you exhale, slowly guiding the foot back down, back to mountain pose. Hands back at your sides. Now we're going to have a look at a couple of stronger standing poses. Again, using your wise, compassionate practice to determine if these are for you today. The first pose will be the modified triangle. From mountain pose, taking your left foot back and angling it out to the side, a deep, long step back. With the front foot still facing forward, take a breath and raise your arm up so that you form a diagonal line from the tips of the fingers all the way down to the outer edge of the foot. The front knee bent, and you can rest your elbow on that knee. And when you're ready, stepping back up to a mountain pose and standing tall. Now stepping back with the opposite foot in the same fashion. The foot facing halfway between front and 90 degrees and well stepped back. Taking the arm of that side and sweeping it up and over so that it forms a diagonal line. Exhaling to bend the front knee. Just to a right angle and resting the forearm of the other arm on that knee. Holding here for a few breaths. And what is the sensation in the body in this more challenging pose? How is the breath? Where are the thoughts? Remember, this practice is non-judgmental. On an inhale, straightening the front knee, and exhale, stepping back to mountain pose. And one more time, coming into the triangle pose in the same fashion, stepping a foot back. This time we'll keep the front leg straight as you sort of angle your chest toward the side of your mat. On an inhale, reach with the front arm as far forward as you can. And then exhale, guide that hand down onto your front shin. And open the other hand up, reaching up. So that the shoulders are over one another. The chest is facing towards the side of the mat. And if your neck feels well today, you could look up at your top hand. A couple of breaths here. And then as you exhale, turn your head to look down at your front foot. And then inhale to rise your torso up. And on an exhale, stepping back to mountain. And then exploring that same posture on the other side and in your own time. Stepping back, turning the chest, lifting the arms so they are parallel with the long side of your mat. Reach forward and tip to take the hand down onto the shin while extending the other arm directly up above, shoulder over shoulder. Look up if you like. How does it feel to breathe in this position? And as you're ready, turning the head to look down at the front toe. On an inhale, rise the body back up. And on an exhale, stepping back to mountain pose. Coming to a second balance pose. Again, choosing to be on or off your mat and close to something if you feel you'll need some assistance with this balance. This time, bending the knee of the right leg to bring the heel toward the buttock. And reaching back and taking a hold of the top of the foot or maybe the pant leg to support the leg there. So the knees are side by side. The pelvis is over the knees, the shoulders over the pelvis, and we're lengthened up, long and tall. And then you could take your opposite arm up, reaching towards the sky, challenging the balance a little bit more. And a few breaths here. Where is your mind? And if it's not here with you, gently and without judgment, bringing it back to this balancing pose. And as you're ready, releasing the hand down and the foot back down, coming back to mountain pose. A few steps or wiggles if you like. And then as you inhale, bringing the other heel toward the buttock. The knee pointing straight down. The spine lengthened, the crown of the head lifting up, and taking the opposite arm up for a long reach if you so choose. Breathing. Softening the shoulders as much as is available. And on your next exhale, releasing the hand down and the foot back down, back to mountain pose. Taking a breath in and stepping your right foot back in the same way you did for triangle pose. This time as you inhale, sweeping both arms up so they're parallel to the floor. Shifting your chest and abdomen in a slight twist to face the chest toward the right or the long edge of the mat. And on your next exhale, bend the front knee coming into the Warrior Two pose. Again, strong pose for the legs and for the back. noticing the sensations and breathing into this position. On an inhale, straightening that leg. And let's just pivot this time. So turning the front foot in and the back foot back. Twist the body to take the same pose facing the back of your mat. Inhale to raise the arms and open the chest towards the long side of the mat, and then exhale, bending the front knee, tracking it directly over the ankle. No more, no less, and not in to the side or out to the side. Feel your spine lengthen tall and your legs feeling strong as you breathe into the Warrior Two pose. Now as you're ready, coming back to mountain pose, facing the back of the mat. On an inhale, stretch the arms up high. And on an exhale, bend forward. Take your hands down onto the mat on either sides of the feet, bending the knees, and then stepping one foot at a time back into a downward facing dog. So the chest is moving back towards the thighs. The fingers are spread wide and in strong contact with the mat. The neck is soft. It's as if the tailbone is lengthening up towards the ceiling, long through the whole back, arms and fingers, long through the back of the legs. If the hamstrings feel really tight, keep your knees bent. If this pose is not for you, an option could be coming down into the child's pose. Wherever you are practicing, be there. Now walking your hands back towards your feet, soft knees, and on an inhale, rise up to mountain pose. Exhaling here, and one more breath into a long stretch. And then coming to sit. And adjusting your sit bones so that you can sit in a position where your back is really lengthened. You're sitting up really straight. If the backs of the legs feel tight, you could sit up on a cushion or even just roll the edges of the end of your mat up to lift up your pelvis a little bit. Put your hands down near your thighs on either side of your hips. And sit tall. Soften your shoulders and breathe. Now one at a time, bending the knees, bring the soles of your feet together, the heels coming in toward your groin. Reach down and lace your fingers around your feet so the knees are butterflying away, sometimes called cobbler's pose. Continuing to sit tall and holding the feet with the hands. And now keeping your right foot where it is, just extend the left foot away. So the right heel is in close to the groin and the left leg is straight. Toes facing up to the ceiling as you take a deep breath and straighten your spine. And as you exhale, just begin to lean forward. Controlling the movement as you come into a forward bend. If this is not nice for your knees, please modify. Remember, you can simply visualize yourself doing these poses. And on an inhale, drawing your torso back up. And now, keeping the left leg where it is, just bring the right knee up so it's facing toward the ceiling. Take a breath in to sit tall. Wrap your left hand around the outside of your right knee. And as you exhale, twist your spine to look over the right shoulder. Inhale, sitting taller. And exhale, twisting. Keep the pelvis facing forward and just take the twist in the spine. It does not need to be a big movement. On the next breath in, guide your body back to facing forward. And exhale, extending the right leg, bringing the left heel toward the groin by bending the knee. You could put a prop under the knee if it's feeling a bit vulnerable, or simply choose not to do this pose. If you are doing the pose, inhale, sit tall, exhale, forward bending. The hands can be either on the floor on either side of the calf or shin, or reaching down toward the foot. Some bodies have a lot of mobility in the back of the leg, and you may be able to reach your hands around your foot. Please don't push or yank to get there. One more breath in this forward fold. And then inhale, coming up to seated. Exhale, drawing the knee up so it's facing the ceiling. Inhale, sitting tall and hugging your right hand around your left knee. And as you exhale, begin to twist from the top of the spine down to the middle, lower middle spine. Every inhale, allow yourself to sit a little taller, and every exhale, allow a little more twist. On an inhale, coming back to the center, and on an exhale, using your hands to support you, begin to roll back onto your back. Coming into the final pose of this practice, the corpse pose. Resting with your feet hip-width apart and relaxed. Your hands resting on the backs of your hands, palms open to the ceiling, shoulders relaxed. As you like, closing your eyes. And spending the final moment of this practice until you hear the sound of the bells, resting in the awareness of this moment.